Ladies and gentlemen, tis I, your Chupins Freaks, and today we're going to be redoing a build I did a little while ago. This is Outpost Sanctuary, and this build is kind of something I came up with when I just wanted to build something and get it out of the way, so that way my immersion was fulfilled. So that way all the settlers of Concords had a nice, decent little place to live, and all their food, water, and beds were happy. But I didn't necessarily want to build a big old settlement. Ever since then, I've kind of built this place either, to keep it permanent or, to tear it down and build the rest of my settlement later on in my Let's Play. But for now, right now, this is kind of what I got here. This is Outpost Sanctuary. It's just kind of like this little living area between two different houses, and it's bordered in to keep it completely protected, so that way no raiders can get in, no harms can get in. They're just completely locked away. All the decorations, all the building materials, all the crafting stations came from inside the settlement itself. So you don't need to go to build this. You don't need to do any scavenging except for a few potatoes here and there just to fill up the food. So this is where they all live. They live in a little community living area where they can sit down, put their boots on in the morning, and just kind of sleep with a nice fire barrel to keep them warm at night. They have a little outside area for some storage, some food storage, some cigarette storage, a few more benches, and a little basketball area in case they want to blow off some steam and play a little b-ball in a little smoking lounge, so they can sit outside and have a little picnic if they want. They have a little garden next to one of the guard posts that covers one of the enemy spawn points. All the guard port towers are pointed towards a enemy spawn point. And then I built this little. This isn't so discreet. You can go without this. But yeah, this is kind of just where they all lounge and have barbecues. And in a little bit, we're cutting into how we put this all together. Alright, we're going to be going over the main decorations in the main house, and we're also going to be going over the community living area. This is just a little Brahmin post I built outside for travelers to go through. I don't know. But inside, I didn't really do anything. I didn't really build anything new. I just kind of picked up the furniture I was here. I just felt that kind of made sense for the people of Concord, that they came over here and they immediately started to rebuild or just put some type of life together for themselves, just a modest living thing. So they didn't build anything new. They just picked up the furniture that was here, maybe fixed a few broken legs, and started using it. The only new thing I built was this bed over here and a container to go with it. This could be like a player home, like an early player home, if like early game, or it could just be a place for Preston to sleep, since he is kind of like the alpha in this settlement. And the communal living space is just a simple little L-shaped structure. You're going to want to make sure the shack floor piece is at the right hand side of the foundation. This is because it's going to line up with the walls better if you do it this way, as opposed to lining it up to the other side. Yeah, so it's just a little L-shaped structure, and then you're going to put down a door, and we're going to be using all vanilla pieces here, just because it's like when I first had this game, that's kind of all I had, and I wasn't really good at shopping for mods. I wasn't good at looking around for mods, because I didn't really trust mods. I thought I was too afraid my game would crash, but I experimented with mods a little bit now, so I'm a little more experienced. That's also why I didn't really go any decorations in this video, just because I'm not really set on them. With the new mods I have, I really want to be able to experiment and go over them. Similar to my Vault 88 build. My Vault 88 build, the build structure itself, I uploaded for people to take what they wanted from it. But the decorations I haven't set on them. These walls right here, I'm trying to get like the middle post to match up, so that way the textures look a little less repetitive. It just takes a little bit of fiddling. And then we're just going to round it off with some unique textures. And finally, we're just going to put a door for that backyard basketball area type area that we were looking at earlier. And just to finish it off, we're going to throw on a roof. Now, you could, for that door piece, just put down another wall and just section this off and make it just a place for the settlers to sleep at. My builds are very customizable. You just kind of stop wherever you want to, wherever you feel like your needs are met. or you can go all the way with me and take what you will from the video and all the decorations you see at the final floor and all that. And just to finish off this little L-shaped building, we're gonna put down some stairs so they don't have to trip in the middle of the night. Well, that does it for the structure. And then you just kind of fill up with beds. I want to experiment with these creative clutter beds that I just got. Creative clutter, OC decorator, and do-it-yourself are kind of my main decorating mods at the moment. I do want to expand into more, but I do post videos on Xbox, so I'm being very cautious with the amount of mods I download, because I had issues with the past where certain building tabs would disappear, and I'm learning like build order, load order, and things like that, so that way I don't have those problems that often. So for now, we're just gonna use the base vanilla dirty beds, like the very first one you see. We're gonna be putting 4 beds in here, as ever you want, but I typically like to put 2 up against this wall, just kind of lined up. Maybe this is where the longs live, or like they sleep, because they're like, they're just right across from each other. And there's 2 more over here, just kind of put out wherever they want to go, just place them down anywhere. That's kind of what I'm going for. And then some storage, some just miscellaneous things. I don't do this build the second time around as I did completely in the beginning tour. I feel like I probably should have, just to make the build a little simpler, but I don't know, I just felt at this point that I liked it on the other side, but just go with whatever you want to go with. And in a little bit, we're going to be cutting into the next part where we're going to be building up some defenses. Alright, since we have the L-shaped structure built, we're going to be putting in the wall. Again, this is completely optional. You don't really need to do this. Walls don't... If you watch any of Oxforn's videos, you know that walls don't do anything in terms of defense. They're just kind of there for aesthetic. The settlement spawn points are... it doesn't really take into account your walls or your defenses, or like where your defenses are. They just kind of randomly spawn inside your settlement. So that's also why this is kind of towards the middle of the settlement. But yeah, but we're gonna put a wall anyway because I like it, and I think immersive wise it makes sense. We're just gonna be following the foundation with little shack walls. Doesn't matter the order in particularly. Just as I prefer it to where no 2 textures are very close together. Kind of like, think about it like seppuku, or almost. You don't really want the same textures to be too close to each other where it's obvious that there's only like 3 to pick from. But as exception, I do use the corners a lot because I don't know, they're kind of limited on that in terms of this no mods using things. I know Evil Viking 13 has a mod where he has little immersive wall, like more immersive, taller walls, but I haven't got around to downloading that yet. And like I said earlier, I'm still just kind of being cautious with what I download and just taking it easy on my computer. And then I don't remember exactly how I did this before I started recording, so I just kind of glitched in another wall that I thought went in well because it looks a little layered. It kind of has like the plywood there. And as you see, when you use the Place Anywhere mod, it kind of gets like fuzzy looking, as you can see. It glitches in and out in existence. And the fix that all you really do is just wait a little bit, select it, and deselect it, and then the fuzz goes away, and it like resets itself, and it says, "Oh, okay, so this is where I'm supposed to be right now." If you do it too soon, sometimes it might snap. It'll like glitch back to the location it was before you Place Anywhere it. But yeah, if give it a few tries, and usually if you wait a second, it follows through. Just wanted to mention, I know I'm not usually the always so upbeat and energetic and loud and punctual and all that good stuff in my builds, but tonight is a little differently. I know I'm a little soft-spoken. It's most of the people in my house are asleep right now, and I'm kind of recording this video a little late, so I hope y'all can forgive me. Right now, we're just sectioning off one of the areas of which people can come in at. I don't really want anyone, any raiders, anyone being able to come in and out. And I know we discussed a little earlier about spawn points and enemy spawn points, and how they would be able to just kind of teleport in there if you were coming to defend this location. But I don't know. I just got like me personally. I feel like I would be safe here with the wall here, and I can't imagine this place without it. So I'm gonna add another wall just to kind of section off this area so no one can really come through. And then I'm just gonna put down a my own little kind of guard tower. I'm gonna put down the shack bridge, and then I'm just gonna glitch in the guard post, the shorter one. You don't really need to place anywhere for that. That kind of just glitches in on its own, luckily. But as for everything else, I kind of use place everywhere just to help tighten it up a bit and make it look like it's really put together. After you put all those walls in, you're just gonna place down a little staircase here, so that way they can get up here. For one, I use these little towers a lot in most of my builds actually, and they tend to use them pretty well. So we're going to be copying and pasting this type of wall on the other side in just a bit, and then we're going to build a little picnic area. Alright, this is just put together the same way as the other guard post. You just snap in the walls on the side of the fence, so that way no one can squeeze through there. No NPC, not even you. So yeah, but there was this little gap in between that I decided to remove where it was and put it more outside of the settlement instead of inside. It just kind of made more sense that way, immersive wise. But yeah, it just so that way no raiders can sneak on through or squeeze on through and attack your settlers from any unwanted post. And then I just reuse that guard tower we saw earlier. And then I just have another little simple farm there. And the last part of this build that we're really gonna be going over is the second story kind of grill area slash like community eating area. Um, yeah, just like a little shaded, just an action area just to chill out. All the decorations here again could be found around Sanctuary. I was able to rebuild them because I ended up scrapping them from this just so I can rebuild it in demonstration. But all the grills and patio chairs and patio tables can all be found around Sanctuary and like backyards of different houses. As I'll go into more depth about that in a little bit. But basically, you're just gonna be putting down these prefabs with a little roof and little supports on the corners, and then you're just gonna put in railings around it. Just kind of gives it a little more homey look. I wanted to use these like double shack ones, but it didn't. It didn't really want to clip in. So the single ones work a lot better. And all you're gonna do is just round the perimeter of it. All right, all done. And then we're gonna be building some rounded looking stairs. I don't do any like I use any mods for like circle around stairs. I kind of do this thing where I I use a combination of the shack bridge and just little the little stairs and the big stairs, and then I support this little extra shack square floor with a post. Putting the smaller one down first, then you're gonna put down a shack bridge under it to make it look a little more supported. I kind of fiddle around because I didn't really remember exactly where it was, but basically the premise is you're gonna put down a shack bridge under the smaller shack stairs, and you want to make sure it's not floating because I've done it a few times and I kicked myself for it, especially in videos. I don't like, I really don't like floating objects. And then you're gonna snap I'm sorry, it doesn't snap, but you're gonna place the larger stairs on the other side adjacent to it, so that way it's easier to climb around to. And from my experience, settlers seem to use these stairs pretty well if you build them well. And that's kind of just it. That's kind of self-explanatory. You just kind of fiddle around with it so it looks immersive and suits your needs. Alright, that's pretty much it. I'm just going over everything around here. All these chairs I got from other houses, and that the little pot cooking area I found over at the beginning of Sanctuary. I closed off these little gate areas with the wired fence and post. That little backyard area I was able to scavenge some patio equipment. And right now I'm just going to go over one more little garden area so that way it sinks in better. What you're going to do is you're going to put a post at the lowest part of the ground, and then you're just going to snap out around the rest of it so that way it sinks into the ground better. And that sweet, sweet immersion just trickles down your face because it's so scrumptious. And then you can just fill it with whatever plants you want. Typically, I just go to Abernathy Farm and grab a few potatoes or even Tenpine's Bluff. They're usually you usually go there for early level Radiant Quest anyway. And then you get their workshop and they're more than willing to give you their extra potatoes. And then with every garden I have, I put down a water pump. We have two gardens, so we have two water pump, which is alrighty, that was the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope you guys give me some feedback. I know the audio editing was a little choppy at times. I'm still trying to get really used to this editing thing. My editing software isn't really what you think it is. I kind of do it all from my Xbox, and well, I don't want to make excuses, but I am planning on getting better. I do planning on posting more in the future, so go ahead and subscribe, and so you can stay in tune and all that. I'll also be very active on Discord, so thank you guys for watching, and have a glorious day.